Business gets overwhelming sometimes. Today, I clarify a few things that will help you get your priorities in check. Roll it. Alright guys, so I had a message come in from somebody with regards to priorities and how priorities should all be looking in the right way for business. Now don't get me wrong, every business is different. However, there's some key principles that we really need to look at. Don't get overwhelmed firstly. We need to understand that priorities, they're there. They're always going to be there. We need to make sure that we know what we need to address first and how to tackle the situations that arise. Hi Nikos. My business needs some help. I'm wondering, how do you apply this whole priorities technique I keep watching you talk about? What is the best way to actually implement priorities? See, when I'm looking at a business, I want to look at what are the requirements necessary for it to launch, and for secondly, to look at how are we going to get it to have income coming in as soon as possible. The question is, how big is your idea? And when you're starting your business, what do you need to do to make that idea go through the process of being a product or service that you're going to be able to sell very quickly, and also be able to continually grow through the next year, 2 years, 3 years of business. Now everybody will tell you something different. It's all based on experience, and it's all based on the level of education somebody has. For instance, somebody who's in accounting and somebody who is, on the legal side, and somebody who's in marketing will all give you different ideas of the best steps to take in order to really jump forward when you're doing a startup. The reality is that they all come back to the same basic principle. So when we're looking at priorities in general, we have to understand what do we need to do with our business and how soon do we have to do it. This all comes down to goals. What are the goals that we have to achieve in order to see the business actually start growing? Once we have a complete set of goals and we know our objectives in total of what we want to do for the month, 2 months, 3 months, now we can start setting priorities. Priorities for business doesn't need to be hard. We just have to really look at what is needed based on the goals and the objectives we have. Going on the last few videos, time blocks help huge. When we have a set of time that we can block out for our priorities and we line them all up, now we can start focusing on how we're going to arrange our time during the day in order to achieve our goal. The priorities you see are all based on goals, and if your goals aren't very aligned with what you're trying to do, your priorities aren't really going to match up either, and then your habits won't ever be formed. It's going to cause a ripple effect as you continue through business. Try to think of it as your life and trying to get your, fitness in check, or maybe you want to go for a big run at the Boston Marathon or Toronto Marathon or wherever. You got to start setting up yourself for success. That means you want to have the opportunity to make sure each day you're working out, you're eating right, you're cooking properly so you know what you're eating, and of course you're allocating enough time for the rest of the things you want to do in your life, like your work and your family. Me personally, I look at it as more of the objective and align it with the goal. So if my priority is to get my content out and to knock out videos every day, well, I'm allocating that budget for 1 hour, 2 hours a day. That is priority. So if somebody comes along and says, hey Nico, we need you to do this, this, and this, and I know for a fact it's going to take so much time out of what I'm trying to achieve right now, then I can simply say no. No really enables you to have success in the long term. Being able to say that no allows you to actually achieve more things. The reason being that when you say no, you know you made the right decision. You know that your priorities are in line with your goals, with what you need to do to see success. Then regret doesn't become a part of the picture. I'll talk more about regret in the upcoming videos, but it just lets off this huge, weight off your shoulders, because when you can say no and you know you're not going to regret it, my friend, success is so much closer. Now when you say yes, you forget about the things that you had prioritized, but you don't really forget. What you do is you regret. You start to regret all these things, and you start feeling inside like you knew you had to do so many other things with the priorities and those goals that you had set. What ends up happening is what you said yes to, well, it's not done as good as it should be. The things that you were supposed to do, you never did. And on top of that, you're delayed on everything you want to do. feeling like, you failed. Bottom line is, when we look at our business and we understand what our goals are, what we need to achieve in the next month, 2 months, 3 months, the priorities align within what we're trying to achieve. If you can start focusing on those goals and listing them off in groups such that you know to block off that time, now your priorities can be formed. And once your priorities are formed, that ability to see success starts to be visualized. It starts to be real. You start to see it happening before your eyes. Some time and go and write down everything you've been doing. Write down all the things you're wasting time on. Write down all the things that you shouldn't be doing, and then turn around and really ask yourself, what are the main things I should have been doing? Once you have those in the concrete with that new vision you're trying to see in the next 2-3 months, now you block out that time for those things and you'll see success shaping up rather quickly. And this will be something you'll be doing on a regular basis without you even realizing, because you're going to be seeing how the success is coming. This is Nico's RentlessMentorsApproach.com. Please comment below. Tell me how you set up your priorities for your work. And of course, subscribe.